Revisiting some old concepts from the Skate franchise. So looking at the Stencil Morph here, trying to make a physical model of kind of the 4 independent wheels with like load bearing. And then with each detection of the wheels, I made kind of this little grid, and the idea being crossing that threshold of the lines that represent like a sidewalk seam, it would play a sound. So just a prototype of sort of a detection method. And a little bit of a different approach here was if each wheel kind of had a sphere and looked at a height map, potential differences in the contrast of the height map, trigger per wheel, something like a sidewalk seam. Angles and perpendicular kind of approaches sound different, so they would blend. And kind of a 3D model here. Similar idea looking at normal maps. So the light and remove the texture off the board, just kind of looking at every wheel independently or collectively, actually, because there is the approach of knowing the pattern of the texture you're rolling on and just playing a loop or some kind of a pattern-based trigger. Yeah, that represents going across these textures. So this is kind of a cross-fading, shuffled looping thing I did in Wise. This is Vuo with the board, the environment kind of simulation, and then Wise is playing a pattern, like a loop shuffled pattern based on the texture being rolled on, and then blending across angles and being perpendicular. So there's kind of this blend happening. And drivable too with MIDI. MIDI's just like turning the camera and the different angle. So again, this is kind of a one shot per wheel, but again, it's sort of this pattern for each texture. So if you were on an angle, there's kind of a delay between different wheels. So you would calculate based on the pattern and based on the angle, how rapid the one shots might be based on speed also, and then trigger some one shots. And then, just trying to simulate some of the speed, some of the angle. And when you push, there's kind of this bump in speed, and it also releases the load when you're pushing on a skateboard. And these are all old concepts from way back over 10 years ago with the original Skate franchise. We got into some really great detail, and this is kind of revisiting those concepts and trying to visualize and simulate with some different softwares. So brick, obviously very dense, and then angles and being perpendicular across something like brick texture, signature sound territory. You see all the samples firing off. And obviously less dense for something like a sidewalk. Fun stuff to think about. I mean, I grew up skateboarding. I love the sound of skateboarding, the physical kind of model of trying to recreate all of the aspects of skateboarding is just really fun and fascinating as a sound designer.